Whoa, what happened? All right, hey guys. So I'm your judge, Judge Vader, and I am joined by Counselor Q today.
What it do? What it do, baby?
I was about to say we had technical difficulties with the intro there, and then it went ahead and just brought us right into our scene here. So welcome in, everybody. We are here. We are ready. Court is now in session. So for sure, we got 4 Dwights, 1 Locker versus Demise. And Q, are you ready for this? Because I am.
I'm super excited. Demise probably still feeling pretty good after the tournament win a couple weekends ago in Swish's tournament, right? 4 Dwights, 1 Locker. I believe they actually played in that tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this will be a rematch of that. I think, right?
Yeah, did they meet up during that tournament though?
I thought they did early. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I cannot remember, honestly. But if they did, I mean, yeah, you're right. It would be a rematch. Should be. I mean, either way, it'll be a really interesting matchup here. I think for sure coming into this with Demise winning that Otofu tournament, I think they are kind of the favorite coming into this. But that's not to say that 4 Dwights, 1 Locker can't win this. This is not unwinnable for 4 Dwights, 1 Locker for sure. If they come out swinging strong, we could definitely see the upset here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw pretty well through a lot of the preseason and even through week 1's matchups. We have a lot of parity in our league, and I would say this is another one of those matchups that is going to be close. Yeah, Demise is probably going to be riding, the nice momentum wave, but definitely they want to make sure that they aren't caught slipping, because 4 Dwights, 1 Locker is a team that we've seen this name around quite a bit in comp for a while, right? They're coming with the experience. They kind of know. You know that they're going to be organized, and they're going to have a good strategy and a game plan coming in. It's just about how your game plan is and who's going to be able to execute theirs better, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think our Demise will be killing first, and we've seen that they are pretty strong on the killer side. So really, this is gonna be interesting to see how 4 Dwights, 1 Locker plays this, and if they go down early, how they react to coming back on killer for 2 different rounds. Do they elect to bring an S tier because they know that they're facing a strong team? Do they or do they just kind of sit back a little bit and not bring the S tier in because it's still early in the season? I mean, we're talking about week 2 right now, right?
Yeah, and I was even trying to remember back to last week, because I feel like if I didn't cast both of them, I at least casted one of their matchups last week, and I feel like they only used 1 S tier, or maybe they were one of the teams who did. Now I really don't remember, but we didn't really see anyone bringing out a bunch of S tier in week 1, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar across the board, quite honestly, in week 2, because you mentioned it. We're week 2, we got quite a bit of the season left. And I mean, the other thing is you always got to keep in mind of where can you really let your S tier killers flex the hardest, right?
Right.
Where are you going to be playing at that really allows them to have their most potential?
For sure. And it's going to be interesting here, but something I think will be really good to watch will be just how does who does Demise bring? I think what was interesting about last week is every time we did see an S tier brought, the S tier actually didn't perform super dominatingly.
You would expect, right?
Yeah, Blight ended up not performing well twice in a row, which was pretty crazy. So for sure, I don't know if the S tier is the move in that second match.
Yeah, I think especially, help me remember. What map are we playing on today?
Ooh, yeah, let's go ahead and review. So of course, anytime 4 Dwights 1 Lockers playing at home, we got to go to Wretched Shop.
That's right.
It's a really good map to go to for them, for sure. I think we've seen them perform pretty well at this place before, for sure. Average, pretty average size for the map. I mean, anytime you see that 10,000, 10,400, 10,500, that's pretty average size. And I mean, good amount of hooks as well. So for sure, pretty balanced map. I think that they fixed the pallet that was broken, like on that top side of shop, where you could only drop it
where you can, like,
vault.
break it from, and vault from one side. Yeah,
you can only vault from one side. You can drop it from that side, but you can't vault it, and then you can't break it from that side either. I think they fixed that. So you know.
Yeah, we actually noticed that during the Ash to Erie recording session last month. So hopefully that's finally been fixed, because I feel like that should be a simple fix. So
you know, you would think, but at the same time, how long did it take for Dead Dog? You know what I mean?
Look, I don't ever want to be that guy that's just sitting here like, Dev, fix your game, bro. Because, like, I can't say that I know what that takes. I'm, being fair and honest. That's never been my thing,
Fair.
And obviously they have a lot on their plate too. And the other thing, like, obviously I just know from being in the gaming industry, like, usually that you have like a priority list, and I would imagine a pallet that's still breakable and vaultable, just not from one side. It's hard for that to reach towards the top of a lot of priority lists. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. And I'm not throwing shade or nothing, but like them cosmetic bugs were definitely more important than making sure RPD worked when it launched, but I digress.
I mean, those are different people working on different things, right? Or at least that's the excuse that they can continue to use, right?
Yeah, it's just different devs. Like we're talking about two different guys. That's Joe, that's Dave. Like they're two different people, man. Oh man. So guys, for sure, something that you may notice, even if the match does get out of hand, which I don't think it will, if the match goes ahead and is already decided after the 3rd trial, you know how normally we don't end up playing that 4th trial. We are going to play that 4th trial. That way, the players still get their stats from playing the 4th trial, as well as the players do get, or the teams have to burn a killer still. Because otherwise it kind of rewarded like shutting the other team out, right? Like because if you didn't go to that last trial, it's like, I don't gotta use this killer.
Yeah, except for the most part, usually though, like, you're usually the team that would have been on Survivor, right? Because you would have already gotten to use the killer twice. So really you were getting rewarded for playing bad. So I like that sense. I also like too, though, the other thing to keep in mind, and we see it a lot over in DBE, is, the 4th trial is still a very valuable time for teams to get like live fire reps. It's one thing when you're scrimming, right? And there's nothing to be won or lost. But in Vigo's court, every trial matters. Even if the game's out of control, you still have that stress of, oh, I'm in front of people. Oh, people could be watching this to get strategies. Oh, things like that. So you still have to perform up to it helps kind of sharpen the tools, if you might say it right?
Yeah, for sure. And so I definitely I think it's good that we're starting to get. It's good for us to get to that point and go ahead and let that 4th trial happen, especially because then that makes it so when we're talking about the end of the week awards and things, it's more fair to be able to score those as well, because everybody had the same amount of trials played, guaranteed, rather than a team not playing 2 Survivor trials because they didn't have to play.
It says they only escaped once, but it's like, yeah, but they only had 1 Survivor trial. So like, what more do you want from me, bro? Like,
exactly. So for sure, I think it is pretty good that we are making that change. It is a change for the better. So for sure, guys, I mean, even if the trial's decided, stick with us. You're gonna want to watch and see what happens in that 4th trial for sure.
I like the fact that you're rocking the Death Slinger 4-year, was it 4-year, 5-year?
That's think that's year 4 because the 5-year was Wraith.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we went over the map, and it's got the 8 hook minimum, the 13 hook maximum that it showed on the video there, and
yeah,
I like
Wretched
it
Shop.
because it's got I like it because it's got quite a bit of tiles that spawn in, and teams who are effective at being able to loop those together early to be able to allow the gen spread by the other team, right? By the rest of the team. Is kind of where the big thing happens. And also it's where you have to make some decisions, especially early as a killer, because you get to fun bust. Am I going to invest time there? Am I getting the big, am I getting the main building? I haven't gotten to open it up. Am I going to invest time there? Like there's a couple of bigger tiles that you kind of have to make those judgment calls pretty early with, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's it's really I mean, like there's a hill there as well. You see a lot of survivor teams bring all 4 types of exhaustion. I'm talking balanced, I'm talking dead hard, I'm talking lithe, I'm talking sprint bursts, and they go ahead and they make use of all 4. Like everybody has an area that they can make use of that. There are a lot of maps that you can do that on, but I feel like Wretched Shop is more balanced to be able to use all 4 exhaustion, which makes it tough for killers to sometimes get those quick chases. And I mean, guys, I know you've heard me say it before. This game, when we're talking about competitive Dead by Daylight, really is a numbers game. When you're talking about it only takes 80 seconds to finish a gen, let's go ahead and say that it takes the first 20 seconds to find the first survivor, right? And let's say that the survivors hop on the gens in the first 10 seconds and they're all on separate gens. Well, then they've already got 10 seconds on a gen out of the 80. And then from there, let's say the chase lasts 30 seconds. All right, so now they're halfway through the gen. And then they're looking for another survivor. You're going to have 2 gens pop. That's why we see 2 gens pop so early in these games.
I feel like I'm doing one of those math questions back in school. Like, if Timmy hops on the train here going this direction.
You're right. I can't say you wrong because that's where we were at right there, guys. This is called applied math. All right. So now that we've had applied math, let's see how that turns into scoring. All right. Killer rules. Am I right? So definitely those killers are looking for those hooks. That first and second hook being 2 points, third hook being 3 points. And then, of course, your progressions being worth 1 less. And you guys already know my spiel about the slug gods. You get that 7th and 8th progression, and you are going to get an extra point for each of those progressions. Of course, that 4K goes ahead and rewards you with 2 extra points, and that gives you a 30-point total if you can manage to kill everybody. But definitely don't let your survivors bleed out. You won't be forgiven for that. That's 0 points for a bleed out.
Ooh. And I like it. Yeah, I think we saw the other Chainsaw Boy come out. I think last time we were on Red Shop. I could be wrong, but we do see the Bubba coming out here and GPU coming out, looking to put some pressure out early. We do, of course, see that corrupt. That corrupt's going to be something that we see quite often in the competitive scene. Of course, you don't want to give everybody or you don't want to give the whole team access to all 7 gens, but the other perks at this point are mystery perks here, so it's going to be interesting. It does also look like, no, I was going to say a split corrupt, but actually we had a decent corrupt there. Ooh, not quite able to get the chainsaw there through the window. That would have actually probably looked rather disgusting on our Michaela's end if he would have been able to hit that, but very, I like seeing the patience here from Michaela here, especially knowing that GPU is a nice Billy, and there's the curve and a very quick down. You love to see it.
Yeah, for sure. And you can hear there was progress on this gen. As I was saying before, you got to think that the other survivors are on their own gens, split off somewhere. So for sure, Billy needs to go ahead and try to pressure the rest of the map. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a gen that's like close to 50 or 75%. But, color me surprised. Oh, nope, here it is. Look at it. There it is.
Yep, and they're actually finishing it right in front of GPU's face. Ooh, and unfortunately, GPU not able to hit the curve. The gen pressure is going to be really big here, right? Because you noticed when GPU did push Joker off of that gen across the map that there wasn't any regression. There's no ruin right now. So at this point, GPU is going to have to find some other way to put pressure down on these survivors. So with a Billy, that typically means getting a lot of downs and getting them very, very quick. We do see the M1 here onto Psycho here at the pallet. definitely would be a good idea to use your chainsaw here. We're also going to, oh, I thought we were going to see a play through the pallet there, but not. And actually, we're going over here towards the shack. We do see corrupt intervention being off of those gens here. So this is going to be the interesting moment. This is going to be where what does our survivor team do right now that everything's available? Now they can really split that pressure.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately for Psycho, he got caught on that corner of the shack. I don't know if you noticed. He had the distance initially to get to the pallet in the shack, but unfortunately got caught on something invisible there on the shack and wasn't able to make use of it. Ooh, almost getting caught with those low pro chains.
Yeah, and we do now see working around the backside of the main building here. No pallet here at this little side, but we do have a nice little filler here at this area. Ooh, able to get the down low before Joker's able to get back across the pallet. That would be huge because keep in mind, Joker was the very first survivor that we were able to secure a down on. So that would already be hook number 2 on a Joker, meaning that Joker is one step closer to being out of the game. And you've also located another survivor. That's 2 survivors down here, both here in the corner next to a generator that's just about ready to pop, and there's no one in sight. This is wow, just an awesome amount of pressure being put out here by GPU.
For sure. And you talked about not having those regression perks, and I did want to note as well, I didn't see any pop goes the weasel. Did you?
No pop there. And if the pop would have been on cooldown, you definitely would have went ahead and put the survivor up on the hook to get that pop right there, right? So
yeah,
we're still looking at having 3 mystery perks here, and this is going to be a 4th hook here collectively and a 3rd fresh hook. GPU really in control right now.
Yeah, and with the kick there as well, we can confirm that there was no pop goes the weasel on that. So for sure, like you said, 3 mystery perks. Ooh, a deli play.
Yeah, interesting here seeing the deli play. Of course, the deli allows survivors to be able to put a little bit more pressure elsewhere. That's why we see the gen getting done across the way. Also, we've got the Megan moving in here towards the save. Ooh, I thought we were going to see a play right there in front of the pallet. Instead, GPU, I think, I was going to say at this point, might as well go ahead and let off of your chainsaw and try and keep back here. Keep an eye on that hook because that is going to be a confirmed kill right there on Joker.
Yeah, and I guess for the survivors, they played it a little bit smart here and did knock out 2 gens while Joker was on the hook there. So that way they're not feeling as much of the pressure there because definitely if a survivor was dead at 4 gens, it's very tough on the survivors. That's almost GG's,
Yeah, that's definitely like that value that deli can get you, right? Sometimes you bring deli into a game and you're the first one down and you get 0 value. There we see the deli allowing 2 gens to get done. And that, even through the sacrifice of your player, you still have 3 players up in the trial here at this point. And that's only 2 hook stages split amongst the 3 survivors. And it's actually 2 fresh stages.
Yeah, and we are seeing, of course, this gen has no progress, so you got to think they're probably going to try to rotate to that gen that did have progress. Oh, good call by GPU to not go to the window, as Nancy was not going to the window.
Yeah, I like this play here at the jungle gym, right? You've got the long wall jungle gym here, and we do see playing a lot of patience on both sides, both the survivor and the killer. This is the type of play that you love to see. I do think you should be able to make that pallet. Oh no, GPU actually securing the down. You do see a 4th gen getting done across the way, but do keep in mind that Draxi is one of the 2 survivors who has already been hooked. That's going to be hook number 2.
Yeah, and I do want to note as well, I actually missed it the first time, but the reason Nancy didn't try to play that window is it was blocked by a bamboozle. So we have found out one of those mystery perks. We know 2 of the perks. We're just waiting to find out what those other 2 perks are.
Yeah, we do see now here GPU traversing the map, coming back, basically checking in here, right, over by your gen. Now you do also see we've got a generator right here. That's a 4th piston pumping. I think that was at least one. Was that both of the remaining survivors, I think, coming in? We do see using the hill there to try and basically be able to scout over here by the hook. And at this point now, closing the distance over the hook, we did see this survivor coming in from that middle building. And GPU in a good little spot, right? Where you can kind of go back and forth, push your survivor that's off of your generator here, but also kind of keep an eye on the one that's coming in for the save and go for the potential snipe. Although you will see here, GPU actually goes for the play here over to Shaq. Ooh, getting the hit thanks to the medium vault there at the Shaq there. And that's actually going to be a hit onto Psycho while there's a, not only is there an unhook, but there's a heal onto Draxi as well. Keep in mind, Draxi is now on Death Hook.
Yeah, for sure. This is a lot of pressure for our Billy, unfortunately, for these survivors. However, you've got to think that other gen that Billy saw across the way probably is getting close to being done. So, Nancy, watch out. That's low pro.
Ooh. I almost got him with the reset because you can reset there on the, oh my goodness gracious. Billy's arms are just so long. My goodness, another M1 hit there. And we do see the flashing of the flashlight there. Probably means that this generator is really, really close. Yeah, we see GPU putting pressure over here. This gen right here, that thing's knocking like a Ford in the middle of December. I'll tell you what, that thing's just about ready to go. That's going to be a down onto Psycho. Wouldn't be surprised to see GPU turn around and kick that thing, but instead, of course, he wants to make sure he proves the caster wrong. Pick Psycho up. That should be hook number 2 for Psycho as well. We do definitely really want to find the Meg, though, if you're GPU, because that's still a fresh hook that you have yet to secure.
For sure, but I do want to note as well that actually getting that second hook onto Psycho or onto Draxi was actually really important, because remember, in Vigos, unlike in some of the other leagues, that death hook is actually worth the most amount of points. These hook points are not front loaded, they are back loaded. So for sure, letting somebody go ahead and unhook a survivor that has already that is basically on second state, and then forcing them to be on death hook and hooking them gets you the most amount of points.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I was just figuring, especially getting close to the end of the trial, you want to make sure if anyone happens to escape, whether it be a hatch play or a 50-50 on door, you would like to limit those escape points, because right now, Megan hasn't gotten any hooks, so you would at least like to be able to take, that little bit of a point swing there, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, even right here, you're going to score 3 points for the hook on Draxi. And I don't know if you see what I see, but I see a tasty little status effect right there. And a totem.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see that haste effect. Now, of course, I know some people who maybe aren't as familiar as far as with comp might wonder why you would bring that in with the Billy. But of course, the Billy's still able to use the chainsaw just to be able to traverse the map, right? Close the distance on a survivor, because we do see there actually that sound notification from No Way Out. Now, the other thing there with No Way Out is another reason you would have liked to have gotten Megan, because it would have been nice to have gotten a 4th stack on that No Way Out. But even still, quite a bit of time between. Oh, gets done, stupid. Nice play at the pallet there by Claudette. We are going to see GPU trying to make the play here with the low pro chains. Not able to get the hit onto Claudette, although realistically the hit onto Claudette probably would have been preferable, but nice hit with the chainsaw for the down. That's actually really huge, because that means now our survivors still don't necessarily know that GPU here has NOED, unless Claudette happens to see that glowing totem. But now No Way Out just got done and is now off of those doors, and GPU has rather friendly doors, as you tend to get on Red Shop.
Yeah, but if GPU's not paying attention, that hatch is actually the play. Oh, wait a minute. What's that sound? It's the hatch.
Gotta love it. That's a friendly hatch, especially as you're coming over towards the door, right? Sometimes I guess GPU may have done the nice little rain dance for RNGesus this game. Definitely came in hand here, and now just going to be able to do the back and forth game here and be able to see where the lights start coming on at.
And you know what? Like, this is pretty crazy. We talked about Demise kind of being the favorite coming into this, but what a statement to have in the first trial, to go ahead and put it on display. Like, hey, we're looking to go ahead and try to put this away early. We're trying to get that near perfect game. And I mean, really, we've got what? I think there were 2 progressions. No, there was 1 progression, and then
The rest were all regular hooks.
The rest were all regular hooks, and we will see 2 progressions if Meg goes down as well, which I believe we will see right here.
Ooh, and then we are gonna see, just the easy close in. Ooh, he's done stupid. However, there isn't enough really time here, unfortunately, especially with the changes to the keys. Even if keys were to be able to be played right, like with being so close to the door, it was just an all-around big feels bad, bruh. Because even if GPU does happen to secure the kill via the end game collapse, as we talked about heading into this game, right? Like he's still gonna get the progressions as if he would have been able to do the hook. So
yeah. And so for sure, I think we will see. I mean, you see that hook is gone. We're seeing kind of the we're seeing the head nodding, like what's coming. It's ground spider time. You're about to be a tasty for the ground spider. So for sure, I think I don't think you can reach a hook from here. So I think
you might be able to get that one
for
right
sure.
there.
Never mind. No, I eat my words. You can totally reach that.
Yeah, he done skip leg day, and he's got that haste status too, even on top of that. Actually getting it just in the nick of time here, getting that last one. And chat, I'm not sure what resolution you're watching this in, but that does indeed look like a 4K to me to start off week number 2. GPU coming out to play.
I've been really impressed with Demise. They've been playing really well lately, and really showing off some of the power that they have. I felt like they got eliminated from the qualifier tournament it seemed a little bit early, right? Like they got past the first round. I think they may have also got past the second round, and that was where it stopped. But definitely they are showing they are a really good team right now. So I'm definitely impressed with their play.
Yeah, I think the other thing, right? Like when you look at what Demise has going on right now, it's what we've seen with really a couple of teams, especially when the teams stay together the way that Demise has, right? Like you're not seeing a lot of roster moves, and they just kind of seem to have gotten this groove. And I think anybody who plays, whether it's competitive DBD or if you've played sports or anything, camaraderie and morale is always easier to keep high when the wins keep coming, right?
Indeed, it's tough. If you take repeated losses, it gets to you. I don't care who you are, nobody really likes losing.
Indeed. Even if it's a situation where we have a couple new teams, right? And that's like the challenge when you're new into competitive, because you're stepping into a scene that, I mean, we're seeing two teams that like have been around the comp scene for a while, have a lot of strategies, a lot of a good good communications, rotations. And when you're moving in, you're starting against that, like you're going to take some L's, what I mean? But it's important growing pains, because it's how you like really learn to get your footing in the comp scene.
Honestly, yeah, I'll go ahead and say the losses, I learned a lot more from the losses than I do the wins. The wins are nice, and I feel like I try to pay more attention to film whenever there is a win, to make sure like that was good, but was there anything that we could do to be even better? But for sure, the losses, there are like definitely things that you can look at and you're like, yep, this is why we lost right here, and that too, and that too, like all of these need to be fixed. And so for sure, I think it is important for teams that are starting out that have those losses happen. It's not a super bad thing. Like, yeah, you got beat, but the important thing is learn from it, right? I mean, I want to say that we had a team that was I think in the first season ever of Vigos, like went almost 0-12 or like lost like almost every game, right? And then they came back and were ready to almost win the whole thing. So for sure, it's been kind of interesting to see how teams react to losing.
Especially because we talk about and we see it quite often, right? Like sometimes one or two mistakes can cost you quite a bit of points, right?
Oh, for sure.
And like mistakes happen, right? And I think like when we look back at say even the last trial, at the point it was after a couple of gens had gotten done, and my GPU came over and was able to get like the double down, right? Had you not gotten the double down there, you probably get a person out, if not two, and now you're talking about a couple point game versus an 18-point game. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like you said right there. And I think there were several times as well that I like to tell survivors to respect the terror radius. I know in comp a lot of people like end up going, nah, I'm not necessarily gonna do that. I don't have to do that. But Claudette,
I got a pallet right next to me. What do you mean, bro?
Interestingly enough, though, I mean, let's go ahead and let's even look at let's look back at that last match. Claudette, Psycho Mantis, was actually on that hill and kept jumping off the hill without balance landing. Jumping off the hill without balance landing, you're gonna take that full like little like, oh, let me get my balance real quick.
Right.
And then you're still not running fast, whereas the killer just drops down and is like, well, I'm still chasing, like, same speed. I don't really have that slowdown you do. I don't know why you tripping, but, you know, I got you.
I don't skip leg day, so I'm just going to go ahead.
Exactly. Yo, Billy out here, like, caught you tripping and it's Christmas.
And now this is the tough part, right? Because now Demise gets to come out and, you know, do their like back-to-back survivor deal here, right? And if you can, and we've seen Demise have some very, very strong survivor performances. You could make it to where your killer has a very obtainable win condition come trial 4, right? Like you've already set yourself up for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are seeing actually a really good performance from Demise right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're thinking right now is let's get 2 really good performances, put it away, and then we might see a trapper, we might see a demo, we might see a actually I don't think we would see a demo if the game's kind of put away. I think demo is still like pretty viable to be used. Balanced killer,
especially in a scene like Vigo's where you know you're only using a killer twice during the season, right?
Also, I don't know if anybody else has caught on, but did you see the add-ons that are allowed on demo within Vigo's? All add-ons. That's kind of significant, you know.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. I think you might go ahead and hold on to that demo use, knowing that I mean, he basically has a barbecue without having to hook built into his kit at that point, right? Like, let me go ahead and just check out where everybody is. Lethal pursuer at all times.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing, I mean, I feel like that's part of the reason why we saw a lot of people like trying him out during preseason. I feel like we saw quite a bit of demo compared to other non-meta killers, right? Because we saw meta killers coming out quite a bit during preseason, and I think some of that was to protect, the rest of your pool. So, and I think that's a smart idea. But I do like the idea, the thought that we've seen a lot of demo. We'll probably see quite a bit of them during the season.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's honestly a really smart use, especially on maps that end up having a lot of those filler palettes that are difficult to get away from. You know, like really easy for survivors to go ahead and loop them and cause killers a lot of grief. So I think for sure it's a good play on a lot of different maps.
Now, do you think, knowing that you're a little behind the 8 ball, does your game plan for 4 Dwights, 1 locker change at all? As far as your killer side, do you bring out an S tier all of a sudden?
I don't think so. I don't think so
No,
initially here. I think you stick with your game plan for this match.
at least for
Like,
trial too.
yeah, and I think interestingly enough, like I had said earlier, the S tiers haven't been performing as well as one would hope, right? It seems like most of these teams are practicing against the S tier meta.
True.
And it's the off meta killers that are throwing them off, breaking their comms, causing the snowball. So I don't know that the S tier would get you the results you're thinking it would get you, right?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I mean, we saw the. I'm even going to go back to the We Overslept match. I mean, We Overslept had the lead and was like, "We're going to put it away with the S tier right here. No hook, 4 out."
Yeah. Ooh. I do though. I don't know if y'all hear that yet in the background chat, but that is that nice little soft, so soothing Huntress lullaby that here. I really like the pick. I like the option coming out with the Huntress. Huntress is a killer that can do relatively well on this map, especially we're seeing with that corrupt intervention, basically taking the outskirts gens basically apart because you do have that kind of awkward split corrupt, but it kind of works in your favor here, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. Especially, oh my goodness, whoa, what a throw! Like Psycho Mantis going ahead and showing us immediately, like, hey, just so you guys know, like, I may have been a Call of Duty gamer back in the day, throwing these tomahawks. So let me go ahead and just show you. I still know how to fling these things.
Yeah, and you know the big thing with Huntress too, especially if you can land those very quickly, especially early in the trial, right? It almost instills like that little extra fear in the survivors, like, oh snaps, like Psycho's on right now, right? Like anybody who plays Huntress knows, like it's kind of like a jump shot in basketball, right? Like sometimes they just ain't hitting, and sometimes you can hit, you know, you can hit water from the middle of the Sahara Desert. You don't want to be facing this Huntress when they're feeling like that, right?
Yeah, and right now, it looks like we were seeing a lone 3-pointer, and then we've seen a couple air balls here for sure. The survivors are watching Huntress get blocked by some tires and other things. Unfortunately, getting vacuumed into that pallet stun as well. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and this is tough because we are going to see here that this gen has a lot of progress on it. And I was going to say, can't help but imagine that we probably have another gen across the way that's getting relatively close as well. And do keep in mind that the corrupt intervention did just get off of those gens. So now we do have everything available to our survivors. But with that being said, you'll notice with that last rotation around, Psycho noticed, or that we see that those are tentacles there, that's going to be from that deadlock. And I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but it's been interesting to see deadlock being used more and more by comp teams.
I agree. I will also note that Super Aaron Nova did get the reset off as well, so we are seeing very smart resets from these survivors as well. Definitely you love to see it. I mean, Quentin here is running for his life, but the other survivors are likely just progressing gens as normal, and they'll be fine just taking a deadlock on that 99 gen, make sure it can't regress, right?
Yeah, especially knowing that Ultra is over here too, right? And we haven't been able to see yet if Ultra is running any sort of like pop or anything like that. Actually, the only perk that, or only 2 perks that we've seen so far have been the corrupt and the deadlock. We actually still have 2 mystery perks, especially knowing that he was not, you know, Psycho was not getting any help from Ruin or anything like that.
And
we
no
don't even
pop.
see any pop or anything like that there. It's been interesting. I feel like pop used to be such a strong, like if you didn't see Ruin, you definitely seen pop. And I feel like now teams are relying more on the deadlock than the pop, and I'm still not sure if I'm quite sold if there's more value there or not. What's your thoughts?
I'll tell you, I am not sold at all. I would say similar to what we're seeing right here. Do you notice what that this other gen near here is at? Like, you could hear the progress, right? And so for sure it sounded like it's probably nearing 50%, not there yet, but nearing, right? And so knowing the other gen was at like 90 or 99 when you kicked it and just got deadlocked again, These survivors are
No, it's
electing
not
to
even
just.
deadlocked this time. So you have another gen
Oh
farther.
no. You're right. So see, like, this is why deadlock worries me, honestly. Wow. What a hit.
That was a nice
What?
hatchet right there, wasn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
my lord. Like, go ahead and just wow. That's a hatchet caught by the back of Quentin's head. Unfortunate. You might want to take that out, Quentin. Mend yourself.
Yeah, we do see here now at this point going to be securing the hook on a GPU. That is going to be a first hook here, but that is only going to be a second hook altogether in the trial. And keep in mind here, we do have this generator here still not even regressed back behind 50% yet. You do have a gen across the way that is obviously past that since it was blocked by that deadlock. And we have a gen over here. Yeah, things at about 30, 35, and even quite a bit of progress on this one here that we're noticing too. So you've actually got 3 gens at this point that are past the 50% mark, and they're kind of spread out a decent a little bit, even with one of them being right around this hook that you've the pair of hooks that you've kind of been hanging out around all game.
Yeah, and this is the problem I see with deadlock, and the reason that, like, when people were asking is deadlock going to be banned, and I was like, I don't think deadlock should be banned, because I think when killers bring it, they're actually working against themselves, because most survivors are going to do exactly what we're seeing here, and they're going to go ahead and just progress every gen on the map. Like, who cares? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are they going to pick up? No, of course not, because what if it's a DS? But what if it's a cheeky unbreakable?
Yeah, you know, especially we've seen here recently in Vigos, we've seen some unbreakables, we've seen some DSs, we've seen a mixture of where do we put that DS. We know that the DS on the Deliverance is a very common combo, but we do see actually GPU coming up right, you know, really relatively quickly. I can't help but imagine that had to have been a survivor close. I don't even think that was enough time for unbreakable.
You know, yeah, I agree, and we do see a survivor nearby, so for sure I think that was a pickup.
And that's a 5th gen getting done already. That is, like, this is just talking about the effectiveness of these survivors here. And across the way, we do see a no way out procs. You also are going to see that perk that is very commonly paired with it, because of course we do see that haste status there on the right side of your screen there, that no way out combo. But keep in mind, you know, we talked about last game how our killer had only been able to secure 3 stacks of no way out. Here we see Psycho was unfortunately only able to secure 2 stacks of no way out. So that means actually we only have a couple of seconds here before our survivors can actually start attacking these doors. And there is NOED getting cleansed across the way too. Oh no.
That is unfortunate for our killer, to say the least. I definitely, I think NOED is interesting on Huntress anyway, a little bit, because on your hatchets, NOED isn't taking effect, right? So if you hatchet somebody, they're not going down immediately anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, we did see here in this situation where the Huntress was out of hatches at the end and maybe could have gotten some like immediate value in chase, but we do typically kind of see what Psycho is doing here, right? Like you're kind of overseeing the doors from a distance if you can. Like here, you're going to be able to push pressure here, but again, you're throwing hatchets if you can even land them. You're kind of closing the distance there, doing like the hold right with the hatchet, but even still, now you probably have a survivor working on the other door across the way.
Yeah, and both doors had lights on, so you know that these survivors are they're doing their best to go ahead and be able. Oh wow, what a dodge!
Yeah, we see really good looping actually here from our survivor, and actually really good patience. Now working around the 4. What? Oh, now what?
This is amazing.
She's
pathing.
a ninja.
The pathing is amazing. Nancy is doing so well here. Psycho is confused. There's our Nancy. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I don't know that you get away from here. Oh, out of hatchets. That's unfortunate. Oh, man. If
and now
that
they
was
have to know, right?
calculated.
They have to know that since you haven't seen the hatchets going, now you see everyone moving back in. This is insane. Now you're trying to get lost. Oh, coming back in this way though, but there's no lockers around. Oh, that's going to be a down here onto GPU. The doors are open. So now you almost have put yourself into a little bit of a like timer situation, right?
Kinda. Let's go ahead and see. Is that Survivor crawling? It doesn't look like it. What about that Unbreakable, though?
Oh no, we see that they're maybe trying to go for the flashlight save. Of course, Psycho able to look right at the wall, and I do believe here that should be just them taking the 3 out, because I believe this is actually, oh man, talk about a little bit of like, that's kind of a tease, isn't it? Your 3 teammates walking out the door and then you get hooked right next to Hats.
Yeah, that definitely is a tease. Like, you talked about Demise having RNGesus on their side. RNGesus almost tried to give him another gift, but just instead, it was just being a tease.
Yeah, imagine had it been a situation where you had a wiggle off being that close. That would have been absolutely insane.
Man.
But, you know, now we see here Demise, right? Like the survivors here able to come out and expand on their lead that they had heading into trial number 2. And now I can't help but wonder, you're 4 Dwights, 1 Locker. You're playing at home.
Yeah.
If you weren't planning on bringing out an S tier, do you kind of feel like your hand is forced and then you have to bring an S tier here?
Looking at the point spread, I mean, you got to do something to pretty much guarantee a.
Because you just brought out a relatively strong killer and a huntress.
Yeah, and it just didn't go well. I would say you gotta go to your mains, and if Psychomantis is killing again, I would say that's got to be twins. Like I would want to see you bring twins here, Psycho. But we'll see what he elects
twins
to bring.
On Wreckers, I can do that.
A wretched shot, yeah.
Wretched, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad play to bring twins there, but I
wouldn't see it's the map that they're most ideal for, but I feel like most maps that like twins are most ideal for, you're probably bringing one of your S tiers on anyways, right?
Right, and I would say that I know Psycho is like most comfortable with twins, so that's where my mind goes. Yeah, my mind definitely goes ahead and says twins. But here's the other thing you got to think about. Your survivors got 4K by Ultra in the first match. So even if you get GPU. GPU, sorry, by GPU.
I know we see Ultra out a lot for Demise, but yeah.
Yeah. You're right though. GPU got the 4K early. So if you're 4 Dwights, 1 Locker, do you worry about having another opportunity where they're gonna come out and try to 4K, and or do you worry about your survivor play, and do you go ahead and start treating it more like hey, we're going to bring out this killer, not change our game plan, and if
save an S tier killer for when it can get you when it can for sure get you a dub is kind of what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, because you would hate to see, come out, even if you have like a 4K at like 3 gens and you're still at a very steep win condition.
Right.
That makes sense.
And I think
I get what you're saying.
I think that's more where I'm thinking right now. If I'm in 4 Dwights, 1 Locker's shoes, even if you had a perfect killer game and Demise scores nothing, right?
Right, like 4K at 0 gens complete.
So that would get you 30 points. You then have a 1 point lead.
1 point lead, right.
So if they finish any of the gens, they still have the lead, and then it's not difficult for them to close you out of a match. They can camp out some gens, right?
Yeah, I mean, then it's kind of easy to do like a secure and early elimination, go for like a no way out combo from there.
And so I think for there, for sure, I don't think you want to waste any of those valuable killers, especially as I don't believe Demise and 4 Dwights on Locker are even in the same division. So I don't think you want to burn an S tier on somebody who's not even in your division.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that, actually.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see.
It's kind of surprising seeing our killers and survivors, so it looks like anxious to get into their trial, right? You actually love to see it. Hopefully that means that they're like in good order. We're not missing any sort of offerings. We're not having any doubled up perks or anything like that. Although usually like the transition between 2 and 3 is a little bit easier, obviously, because like you're not switching sides and things. So
I feel like I'm seeing more and more survivors as well go ahead and if they already have a survivor P3 that has all the perks, they go ahead and they go into pubs, they set the build that they will be bringing. That way, like as soon as they load in, it's already ready. They're like
that way you don't have the miscommunication, right? And have an accident. Like why lose petty points,
Right, exactly. And it looks like we are set to go ahead and get started here. So it looks like we're about to load in, and we'll review some survivor rules this time, chat. I know last time we actually we didn't load in. Me and Q were too busy talking about what we were expecting to see, kind of what was going on from that first match. So this time we'll make sure we get some survivor points reviewed here for you guys. We are seeing all of the offerings that we need to see, so let's go ahead and review those survivor rules, have some more applied math, right, Q? All right, so for sure, guys, we are gonna go ahead and see those first and second gens being worth 1 point each, third and fourth gen being worth 2 points each, and that fifth gen being worth 3 whole points right there. But that is just, it pales in comparison to the escape points. First and second escape being 1 and 2 points, but third escape being 4 points, and the fourth escape being worth a whopping 6 points. And if you can go ahead and escape with 2 or more hook states remaining, you do get a bonus point for each survivor able to do so. So that would be a 26 point available there. And oh my lord, do I see a Miguel Myers and he's stalking already?
Yeah, I am interesting pick here. I guess obviously, looking at what we have at the bottom left-hand corner, we know that Psycho is obviously playing for a late game, right? Knowing that we're trying to go for a just wipe them all out as soon as we can take all the time that it takes to get into tier 3 there. But that is going to be the struggle here, and I think the at least working in your favor is the fact that you are on a auto haven like map, which does have a lot of the middle area where it has the lower walls, so you should be able to get some of your stock off still, as we see Psycho here actually already getting into tier 2.
Yeah, for sure. And we're seeing quite a bit of stock coming off this survivor here. So for sure. And oh wow, from there you can, oh no, they did notice though. Okay, I was gonna say, if that survivor doesn't realize, oh my lord, talk about free stock points.
Yeah, that would have been a I guess you could say would have been a ultra mistake. No, but that would have been really big because you would be able to get a lot there. But we do see here now, this is kind of where Michael tends to struggle. This is an interesting pick here, especially because of the situation here. And I do think your hope is going for, with all the progressions and everything, and like maximizing your point, knowing that you're going to probably be sacrificing at least 3, if not all 5 gens. But Psycho's done a pretty good job so far, right? We do see now the corrupt intervention is off. We have only surrendered 1 gen, and we're almost a quarter of the way through tier 2 here.
Yeah, can I go ahead and give you some really sad news though?
What's that?
So a tombstone counts as a Mori, right? So when we're talking about scoring, right, an entity kill corresponds to the corresponding hook and the progressions, right? But a Mori is only worth the hook that it would have been. So if we do see a 4K with the tombstone, it is only worth 2 points per survivor. That would be a 6 point game, or 8 point game actually. Imagine that. Well, do you
think maybe though you kind of save that as like the reserve? You just try and go for like Slug City and get some hooks and don't let them know that you can eliminate them right off the bat? Is that possible? Like a possibility?
I mean, it's possible, and that's kind of what you would hope for. But in that case, why bring the tombstone?
I mean, I think the thought is that way you can, if you can get there earlier, maybe you at least remove the first person quickly, make it a 3v1.
Hmm.
But that would have required Michael to be just at about tier 3 right about now. The good news though is you will notice there on the left side of your screen the object of obsession, or the obsession legs were kicking there. We were on ultra there, and if we had stayed, if we have we still happened to track ultra, would have been able to get a lot of good progression towards that tier 3. But it does actually look like we've transferred over and we're on a completely different survivor completely, and that's going to be the, is that the Nancy that we've actually already stalked quite a bit?
That
No,
is
that's the
going to be the
Nia. Sorry.
Nia. Yeah. Now there's Ultra. There is our obsession. So we will see a lot of stock coming off here. Oh wait, is this 3 survivors? Imagine.
Yeah, that actually. Oh my goodness! Imagine if Ultra would have kept going over to that next tile, right? Like gone over towards where that jungle was. We do see we were able to get quite a bit of stock there by Psycho, actually relatively quick. Now we're at about 2/3 of the way through tier 3 here, and we're still at 2 gens left. One thing to keep in mind: if it sounds like this gen by us here, it's about 50%, and more than likely, at least if our survivors are playing the smart right, they're probably splitting that pressure amongst the gens, because the last thing you would want is Mikey coming up on 2 of y'all and being able to get that good, nice little stalking power.
Yeah, and I mean, we're also talking about how the deadlock is in play, and we see deadlock happening on that gen, but we see 2 survivors over here. So for sure, these survivors know there's only 1 gen left. They don't care about the stock anymore at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you have to be at least expecting 1, if not the double Eerie, right? Like with how long it's taken to progress to tier 3. Like if you're the survivors, you're at least anticipating 1, and kind of like the play here. You know, now you're just going to see the 1 survivor kind of staying behind, being the true soldier. That's going to be a door opening there. And actually, we're still not even quite yet seeing a tier 3. There's just going to be Psycho here basically prepping the tier 3, and that's going to be with a very good job of zoning out. I believe that was that still GPU there, but now making the way back over towards the door and probably going to be forcing these survivors out. But I wouldn't lose track of your survivor that's over there, because they could still possibly make a play towards the other door, or make even a hatch play here if they truly want.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is well, yeah, I think they just go ahead and go. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any hooks or any kills either. Oh, there it is. 4 out, no hooks.
That's tough there. You know, I mean, I do kind of understand with where you're at. Maybe try and go for an all or nothing play like that with the Mikey, and maybe see if you can get lucky, find some people early, and get like a whole lot of good sucking power. Hold on, chat. Not what I mean. Stalking power, right? Maybe you can snowball that early. But with knowing where the map is at, you know, you definitely. I also kind of understand with like not wanting to sacrifice like a tough killer there either, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And so for sure we are going to see another trial here, and so we'll see what Demise decides to bring, knowing that they've got a 55-point lead here. So
Demise has the chance. Is this going to be the first chance to have a triple-digit score in Vigos now officially?
Oh my goodness! I mean, yeah, if they 4K here and they have like a perfect 4K. That's 100%. They would just want to go for a 12 hook 4K.
Right,
that would be the key.
No progressions, or although I guess maybe you can have like 1 progression. I think if you get the 4K.
2.
Because you have 2 progressions. Yes, true. Whether it be a last death or something, but that would be pretty nasty, huh? Seeing Demise coming out. That would kind of, I mean, that would continue this nice little streak that they're on right now. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing, right? I mean, we saw a really good performance by their killer in game 1. I mean, you even thought it was their other killer, right? Like they have different killers who can come out and like put up big performances right now. And like, you never know who's going to come out and have a good night. We've seen their survivors have 2 very impressive trials here. Just really riding a high right now, right? Like as a team as a whole, definitely putting themselves as one of those names that's like, hey, make sure you circle the calendar for when you verse us, because we're gonna be bringing the pain.
I think for sure, like it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty interesting, but the the survivors, of course, are going to try to prevent the triple digit, right, for the first time in Vigos. But the killer, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see who they bring, who they decide to burn, knowing that
True.
you don't really need to burn anybody super heavy. But do they bring a Nemi? Do they bring a clown? Do they bring, like, who do they bring? I kind of want to see a Santa clown.
Santa clown could be fun. I mean, 'tis this season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talked earlier about, you know, how demo dogs kind of moved up on some teams' tier list, it would seem, or at least especially for Vigos with the with the balancing rules, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we did lose the DLC today, so I mean, maybe if we can get a send-off game for the Pupperoo here, you know, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be. It's really sad to see that DLC go.
It was such a good DLC, and you know, I at least like that. Obviously, the people who have the characters and everything can keep them. I, for one, am one, and I even posted on Twitter, like, I'm gonna be one that misses Hawkins. I never minded Hawkins. Hawkins was fun once you figure out the lay of the land, you know.
Same. I really liked it. I especially liked it when I played Huntress. I loved being.
It sucks on solo queue. I will say that, like, for Survivor. But
yeah,
if you are in comms with people and people who know where, like, at least roundabouts, and you can say, hey, I'm on at least portal side or not portal side, like, it's like rid of half of the confusion, right?
Yep, 100%. That made it super easy to call it out, right? And definitely, I felt like there were just some really broken loops on Hawkins too. Like, Hawkins was a good overall map for survivors, I felt.
Oh, 100%. Once the survivors figured it out, it's easy to get lost in it, and I think that's why, especially like people when they first started, don't have an appreciation for Hawkins, because you can be in there forever, and since nobody's found a gen, like, it doesn't matter how long the game goes, like, you're still at 3 gens, you know. Like,
right. Yeah, that does make it tough for sure. I don't know. I think even when I was solo queuing, it wasn't that bad. I felt like people knew how to run it. They just hated it for. I felt like
because
more
they were
killers
told to hate it.
Yeah,
they hate it because they were told to hate it. Now, granted,
standard hater behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, but, man.
I like the idea, you know, because again, it's not like Hawkins got hated the way that, like, RCPD's universally hated, right?
Dude, like, RPD just loads poorly on a lot of people's computers and consoles. But then on top of that, I have never gotten lost so many times. And, like, dude, I don't know if you played Resident Evil. I did.
Oh, they did a great job of capturing the RCPD from RE2.
Yep.
Great map for Resident Evil. Absolutely awful for Dead by Daylight.
100%. Like,
however, no one's allowed to steal this because I haven't released the video for it. I think I've figured it. Actually, we're not gonna talk about it. All I'm gonna say is I think I've figured out a fix to make RCPD better. And keep an eye on my YouTube in the next couple weeks. You know, selfless plug. Let's fucking go.
You know, like, I appreciate the plug and all that, right? But I hate the fact you just teased me with the info though. Like, I
promise you, I'll put it up on a priority of my list of my next video to get done. You know.
I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, bud.
Right. Yeah.
When that goes live, you better at me in the Discord, all right? I better see that ping.
I will do.
I need that number
one.
I'll
put in the I'll make sure Rambo's okay with me pinging it in the Discord.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and review our build rules here. So for sure, our survivors can bring yellow and below items and add-ons, and only one of each perk and item. There is a duplicate BT allowed, of course, but there are banned perks here. You can't bring Prove Thyself, you can't bring Built to Last, you can't bring Starstruck, no Boons, no Haunted Ground, no Lethal Pursuer, no Clairvoyance. And we're gonna go ahead and load right in because it looks like we're ready to go. Wait a minute. Actually, no, we're not. Some DC happened. That was interesting. All right, so actually, we're going nowhere. We tried to go somewhere and we went nowhere.
Man, and you guys were calling me the tease.
You know, that wasn't me. Now, like
no, you were the one calling me the tease.
You're right. I was the one calling you a tease, but interestingly enough, now they're the tease. Basically, I'm just the one getting teased tonight. It sounds like Demise did set the wrong map though, so that would result in a negative 5-point penalty. So instead of having a 55-point lead,
you know what that does though, right?
we have a 50-point lead. What's it do?
You know what that does?
Huh.
It means now we can't break the 100-point threshold.
Ooh.
Because the max points you can score as a killer is 30 points.
They did it to themselves. Like we were talking about how they could do it.
2 progressions, you know?
Wow. Oh, so sad. Almost had Vigo's history on the line.
I mean, I'm sure probably we'll have to check the books, but I'm sure we'll probably still be able to put up a potential record end score game for a single team here for Demise. But yeah, taking that penalty. Although, you know, do gotta say, if there was any time that you would like to take a penalty, it would be while you have yourself a substantial lead. So rather take it now than going into this trial and it all of a sudden being like a 5-point game instead of a 10-point game, right?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'd say that you're right on that. So spot on. I agree. We do see, of course, the items that we need to see. We'll go ahead and review those penalties this time. And
see, they just did it for you because they knew we had one more video. Since we had the one time, since they didn't give us enough time to do the video, they figured now they'd give us enough time to do the video.
I think that's fair. So for sure, guys, we saw a match with the penalty right there, and it is getting restarted. So that's a good example of how this works. If you have 2 of the same survivor, a banned perk, item, or add-on, it is negative 5 points and a possible restart. If you bring us to the wrong map like they were about to do, negative 5 points and an auto restart. Definitely never harass the ref. That's negative 10 points because we don't stand for that. And we're gonna go ahead and load into the match because they are ready, and I see a Huntress.
Yeah, I like it here. You know, you got a chance to match the Huntress versus the Huntress here, and you know, Huntress would have given you or been a killer that really could have given you the potential to also hit that 100-point marker. And I do also like it here though, you know, Huntress, one of those killers that has the ability to really shine on just the Auto Haven realm itself, right? Like a lot of the Miller filler palettes, you can still, especially on the edge of some of those kind of roundabouts, still be able to land those hatches there, especially for someone like Super Aaron Nova, who has quite a bit of experience playing both. Oh my goodness gracious, what a disgusting shot. However, you are going to see across the way that is the ruin there getting broken. So was hoping to have a little bit of help there from the ruin. Now that is going to be broken. We do see now a survivor down in the pallet. Aaron Nova is the honey badger. He does not care. Get it done, stupid. That's going to be a save. That's going to be a blind, and that's going to be another blind. Oh no, not another blind. I was just kidding. But that, oh my goodness gracious, hold that, nerd. And that's going to be a hatchet. Was it going to be 2?
It almost looked like it, didn't it? It was looking really interesting, but this looks like, what the heck is Michaela doing here? Going for a body block that doesn't work. This might be 2 down right here. Oh my lord. I didn't expect to see a Michaela there, did you?
No, I did not expect to see the Michaela there. It was a nice little attempt at the body block, but really good awareness by Super Aeronova to go ahead and go for the hatchet instead of kind of going for like the reaction M1 there, right? Because the reaction M1 on a Michaela actually probably allows Draxi to get through the window and get to safety. So that is going to be a quick down. We do also know that we have 2 injured survivors elsewhere in the trial. We have yet to see a generator pop, and you're also right here kind of amongst a really good 3-gen if you can control this. Oh my goodness gracious, hold that to the back of the noggin, and that's going to be another down. Joker here now going to go up, and that's going to be here back deep into this corner of the map here that was actually just protected by the corrupt intervention. So really going to be able to secure this 3-gen setup.
You know, imagine imagine how like just upset that survivor's got to be. Like, I was behind the rock. Well, this huntress actually knows how to throw hatchets over the rock and still hits you using the gravity fall of those hatchets. Ooh, that's a tree.
I thought that first one was actually going to smack the face, so I thought that had to have been relatively close. Really good job here. A lot of pressure here by Super Aeronova. This was actually the type of performance we were hoping to see before the 5-point penalty, because it would have been looking like a good start to heading towards that triple-digit finish here, right? But we do see his scratch marks now heading toward. Oh no! Oh, I was about to say. Now we do see the double save coming in there. That's going to be pretty big. We see another hit there. I'm not sure if that was with borrowed time or, well, I guess it wouldn't have been with borrowed time. Definitely would have been just a hair bit early though. If that's the case, we do see Dwight coming in here. We got the jingle Dwight. I absolutely love it. We do see the play there with the firecracker, not able to get a blind, and unfortunately not able to build distance off of Super Aeronova looking up. That's going to be a down on the Psycho here. And now with the reload, that should be a nice little securing of, I believe, should be hook number 2 for Psycho, right?
No, hook number 1, I believe, because Psycho got saved, remember, by the pallet stun and blind.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Oh my goodness. So this is a really good play by the Huntress here. Definitely knowing how to use those hitboxes. I've definitely seen the throw over the rocks work well, because the way that those hatchets do drop off. I mean, you've seen it before. Look at that, perfect throwing right between the gap, just like you need to. Just amazing.
Yeah, just, I mean, sometimes we talked about it actually in the last trial, right? With the Huntress, sometimes when especially somebody who plays a lot of Huntress like Super Aeronova, right? Like, so once you get warmed up, and I hate to use the analysis for maybe people who don't have the understanding, but those who played basketball know what I'm talking about, man. Sometimes when that jump shot's just wet, like I could turn around and not even be looking at the hoop. I'm still gonna find it from wherever I shoot from. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Super Aeronova just hitting some just amazing hatchets.
Yeah, 100%. And that's my thing, right? Is like, even the way that Super Aeronova is going ahead, and I love the analogy you used of like basketball, of shooting your shot, and Super Aeronova a lot of times was even like looking away, you know, like shooting their shot, already turning, holding up the 3, like, let me go ahead. I know I sucked that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, for sure. And actually, we've seen it's just a lot of confidence, and it's like every hatchet is expected to hit. And I think we're seeing on the opposite side, right? Like, we're seeing causing a lot of passive, really passive play from our survivors, knowing that they don't want to be exposed at any point. Like, they don't want any part of their body showing around any corner, right?
Yeah, and I think that's smart, because definitely Super Aeronova going ahead and proving that they know Huntress better than maybe these survivors do. And you got to think, that survivor right there that's running around injured rather than healing off the hook and running towards the killer, that's your DS. You got to be thinking, right?
DS, or since they just got off the hook, maybe like trying to get a last second be. Oh my god, from downtown. I love Head nod, my Super Aaron Nova, acknowledging that, like, yeah, I'm stroking. I know, I'm feeling it, feeling myself. Oh, and that's gonna be
Ooh.
another down onto the Dwight. Yo, he's feeling himself, man. You love to see it. And that is going to be another hook here for Super Aaron Nova. Hook number 2 on the Psycho. Doing a really good job. You know, we talked about if he was looking to try and get that 100 points here for Demise prior to the point penalty, you know, was going to need to spread the hooks, and even still seeing a very impressive performance from Supernova here doing just that.
Yeah, and look at these throws. Oh, wait. That was Survivor right there. You know, I think that was actually pretty close.
Yeah, I do too. And I think, was that somebody who just creeped in through the window there?
That was the Michaela right there, and taking a hit, not dropping the pallet. We'll see. Are we pursuing the Michaela or not?
It's interesting here, right? Because we saw with the deadlock that middle gen was the one that was covered up most recently. And now, you know, the Megan kind of has a decision. Psycho across the way is, I was gonna say, relatively close to being eliminated. Do we let him maybe hang in order to ensure the last generator? But we do see that save coming in across the way. Nice hatchet there from Super Aaron Nova here. Going to be another down, another hook. And if I am not mistaken at this point, that should be now a 2v1. Super Aaron Nova just cruising right now.
Oh my god, like I can't believe it, dude. Like to bait out the dead hard, know the dead hard's coming, wait, and then throw when they start the dead hard so that by the time it hits them is right when the iframes end. That is crazy. That is amazing. Talk about high knowledge, high tier play. Ooh, and just playing with Psycho Mantis's emotions. Oh my lord! I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Yo, he is on fire right now. It's like if you can see it, you can believe it. Super Aaron Nova literally just hitting any shot that he thinks he can hit. Every hatchet that he throws with the intention of I should be able to hit this seems to be making its connection, and I mean, just absolutely amazing. One thing to keep in mind though, with this hook here, this is going to be Psycho Mantis's elimination, meaning now we're going to be looking at a hatch play.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Like, I started feeling like these hatchets are more like you know the movie Dodgeball. Like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like Huntress is over here trying to give lessons over here. Like, hey, dodge my hatchets, and then you can go play some dodgeball. You know, go play some Knockout City or something. Oh my lord.
Yeah, we do see, you know, now looking around, trying to find the hatch. You know, kind of interesting to see that, you know, at this point, Super Aaron Nova has covered a good portion of the map here. And, you know, unfortunately, part of it is right by a door. And generally, that's going to be the last place that the survivor is going to be looking, right? So we do see now the hatch getting closed in relatively friendly doors as well. It should pretty well spell the end here for Super Aaron Nova, knowing that those doors, basically, you can just do a 180 and keep an eye on them.
That is honestly disgusting. Because we've seen the hits that oh, there's Scratchies. We know where the survivor is. You don't hit that, no way. Oh my god, what?
My goodness gracious, my goodness,
dude,
this dude is on fire, bro. Like, I'm telling you, any like hatchet that he feels like has a chance of hitting, it's like literally just speaking it into existence, even over the most obscure objects. Absolutely amazing. We do see Super Aaron Nova was trying to kind of keep an ear there, maybe trying to see if somebody was still hiding out in that locker, but now going to be trying to see if we can locate our player here. It does seem like we have located them here around this truck, and this is kind of the portion we were talking about on this map here with the Huntress, right? Especially on the Wrecker's realms, where you can really, even around some of these tiles, still be able to work. Looking for the 360 no scope. Oh my goodness gracious, phase up Super Aaron Nova.
Yo, if he had hit it
over the truck, the best call ever.
I would. The sad thing is, I wouldn't have been surprised. Not after what I've seen. Oh my lord, you vaulted. Ah, that's unfortunate. That's a easy hit from the Huntress here. Go ahead and get that babushka oak haft, and that's gonna be our 4K here today, folks. That's crazy.
Yeah, Super Aranova coming out and making a statement here with the 4K, and we'll have to double check our record books, but I do believe with that 4K here, that should be wrapping up a Vigos Court record as far as scoring wise throughout a single matchup there. That's that's impressive. 94 points by Demise. We had mentioned it heading into the matchup here, right? This is the team who went through the champions of, or the, what was it? The tournament of gods, I think they called it. The one that Swisher hosted with Ralph and Otofu on the desk. And we've just really seen Demise just seems to be on a tear since then.
Yeah, like, and those hatchets were thrown perfectly. Like, I can't stress enough, like, I've really enjoyed playing Huntress lately, and I've gotten some hits like that, but to do it that consistently was crazy. It shows the amount of practice that, like, Super Aranova's gotta have.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's probably why we saw the Huntress come out in that situation, knowing what, like, you had the potential of doing, right? Like, trying to go for the triple digits. Why not come out with, it's not an S tier killer, but obviously Super Aranova is just a god amongst the boys when it comes to hatchet tosses. I mean, those things were, I mean, you could tell, just very confident with every throw, right?
I'm still just shocked, dude. Like I said, there's no way you hit that, and then I see the hell state just go ahead and change, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I have nothing else to say at that point. Like, well, shit. I'm gonna just go ahead and eat my words. Nothing else to say.
And it's one thing to put up a performance like this if you were to be doing it like on your home turf, right? But we saw Demise here. They came into 4 Dwights 1 Lockers territory. And sorry, did I say Demise? Demise, sorry. Demise, came into 4 Dwights 1 Locker territory and just absolutely phenomenal from the word go. All four trials, both sides.
Yeah, and it's just, I actually am questioning a little bit bringing Huntress. I know, crazy, but as strong as they just proved.
Is it because the performance was so strong and you hope that maybe they need that later?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
confidence in their team. That's what that is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I totally get it. But like, what? I'm actually genuinely speechless. Like, teach me. All right, Super Aranova, teach me your ways. Like, your ways. Holy hell, my goodness.
Yeah, there are, a lot of times when you see most high tier killers, when you see them played at a level like that, where it's like somebody's super locked in, it's a spectacle to watch. But I think for me, and that one is it definitely ranks up there as far as Huntress matches that I can think of.
Yeah.
Another one that I can think of was on a similar realm, but Rips. But when you see Huntresses when they're just in the zone, when they're in their bag, because of what's in the Huntress's kit to be able to deal damage at range, when you see a Huntress that's just locked in, it's so much fun to, like, it's a very much different satisfying than watching like a Nurse or a Blight be able to never miss like a 2-blink or hit every flick. It's something completely else to see somebody hit every single hatchet.
And I think that's the thing. Like, it's just, Huntress is the most exciting killer to watch when Huntress is on, and I would have to agree with that. We do have somebody joining in our interrogation room, though. GPU, you are here with us in the interrogation room. How are you? Well, we have the mute. Hold on a minute. I think I can remove a mute. That I think I can do.
I mean, I would imagine, you know, and again, I feel like we talked about it a lot, but we've seen Demise here. We've seen them. They've been on a very good roll. So I would imagine, at least if it was me, probably a rowdy bunch throughout trials 3 and 4. Again, just because like it's so easy to keep the morale going when everything's just clicking, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to go ahead and say, GPU, you are unmuted as far as oh well, nope. Yeah, you left the party. Oh no, GPU's gone.
He's back.
We'll wait for GPU to come back for sure, so we can ask some questions. But oh well, there's GPU. GPU is back. GPU, can you hear us? Are you able to unmute? Maybe not. Bueller. Oh my gosh. Hey, do you think there's anybody young enough in the chat right now, Q, that does not get that reference?
I feel like that is a reference that even if you haven't watched the movie in its entirety, you at least have heard that reference and know where it's from.
Chat, let us know if we're right, because I gotta go ahead and say, like, I had made that reference actually like in person recently, like actually today. I was at I was giving a presentation at a high school, and like they were saying, yeah, I haven't seen this guy all day, and I was like, Bueller, and nobody knew. Like, and I was like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off? No, nobody. I'm old. Officially, like, oh, I'm old.
I'm
like,
old.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, I'm sitting over here at 26 years old talking to these like 15 and 16-year-old kids going, I'm old.
Okay,
Where's my walker?
I think you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, GPU.
Okay, nice. I don't know what's going on. Like, I was server muted, but then my Discord is not working. Okay, we're back.
Nice. All right. Well,
How's it going,
pleasure
guys?
to have you.
Yeah, I finally get an interview, dude. I've only been doing Vigos for like 10 years, dude. Q-Top always steals interviews.
Imagine. You just have to go ahead and, you know, kick Q-Top out. Like, just say, this is mine. This is my time to shine.
True.
I had the first killer game, right?
I actually did not think I was playing killer today, because I, like, haven't been playing comp killer at all. I used to be the comp killer for our team, but, I just have not been practicing killer at all. But we were like, you know what? We're just going to save some killers, and we're just going to play, like, you guys, our survivors go in and basically play their mains. It's basically what we did.
Nice.
I mean, it worked out well for you guys. Can't be mad at it.
Definitely not.
I think, well, I'm a Billy main and Aaron's a Huntress main, and they kind of both work on that map. Like, Billy, there's so many dead zones. He can zone people really well. Like,
and you did that like amazingly well. Your zoning was perfect. I've got to say, like what were you worried at all at any point in there? Especially like we heard gens were knocking at several different points with the deadlock there. Were you ever worried during that match?
I actually didn't have deadlock. I had no in, no way out. I was gonna put deadlock on, but I had to keep on.
Yeah.
Actually, I would run deadlock, but I have to run bamboos on Billy. I swear, like I can't take it off. But the only time I was nervous is when I was going for like a really ambitious curves and I was bumping, and I tend to have that problem. Like comp Billy, you tend to just play more boring and like back rev and take M1s, but I have a bad habit of not doing that. Like public match Billy mindset.
Well, I think too. Also, it was probably a nice confidence booster when you got the back-to-back hook there is like mid-trial. I think it was after like the first two gens had popped.
Yeah. I think my chases weren't too bad, but there's like a couple times where people were in dead zones and I just messed up the chainsaw, and led to like a much longer chase, but no way out really carries on that map. Like no way out in general on Billy is insane.
Well, especially if you can make sure you secure your stacks, right? Which it seemed like you were. I think you got 3 of the 4. I think on your Billy game.
Yeah. So sometimes when you run no way out, like on Thompson House or something, you get like only like in comp you want to tunnel a bit against a good team. It's hard not to.
Yeah, so you get like
and
2
then you only get
stacks
like
if
1
you're
or 2
lucky.
stacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as valuable.
Yeah, for sure. You guys did. You did very well in that match, and definitely Super Aaron Nova going ahead and unfortunately having wrong map at first, but performance almost got you guys over 100 points for.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think the 94 is probably a easier close to swallow than like being at 99 had they not gotten the 5-point,
penalty. Yeah. Did you guys?
was
Did
just
you
like
guys even
wrong map.
realize though? Did you guys
What, the
even
map?
realize that you were that close to being able to score 100 points? Did
No,
you talk
I don't
about
think
it
we
at all?
realized. No.
Oh man. So see,
We
like
were not expecting a Michael at all. That actually like scared me so much. Like,
Yeah, that was
I
an
thought
interesting pick.
I did think he was gonna have Tombstone, but to be honest, like, I did read up on the rules, but I just did not remember what the Michael add-ons were. I thought maybe he can only have like purple, and then when he was talking so much, I realized he must have Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The end was really unfortunate for him because I think I was the Nancy, so I was the one stalked the most throughout the game.
yeah.
And he found me at the end, and he couldn't get his tier 3 off of me because he already stalked me to.
Yeah,
like,
you
full.
were already red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely super unfortunate.
I did want to ask though. So we have seen, obviously your squad's been on a pretty good run here, not just in Vigos, but I mean, just your squad across competitive in general over the last like 4-6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, what's the juice? Is it extra time that you guys are spending together in scrims? Is it you guys spending less time in scrims so that way, like, it doesn't seem like as much work? Or, I mean, is it just like in a
I
good
don't know.
streak,
Like,
or-
we
Because
have
you guys have been
practicing
around
a little
for,
bit less
for
than
a
we
while
normally
with your
do,
squad,
but
so
we practice a lot. We were kind of slacking in practice, but up before like Tofu's tournament, like Swish's tournament on Tofu's channel, we were practicing a lot more. I don't know. We just
y'all
put in a
killed
lot of
it in
work.
that Swisher tournament.
Yeah.
So are you guys?
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Our team's actually changing a lot right now, so we're actually kind of back in like a development phase. Like we there's a lot of players joining and leaving kind of right now. We're kind of moving the roster around a bit, so we'll see. But I don't know. I don't know what the secret ingredient is.
We know next week you guys play Corrupt. Is that a game that you guys have been looking forward to? Is that one of the ones that you guys have kind of had circled, knowing that that's going to be one of the tougher matchups?
To be honest, I didn't even know we were playing Corrupt. I didn't know that.
See, I like that. Taking it week by week. That's actually probably
We
the best
are.
way to do
Day
it.
by
I
day.
swear, our team takes it day by day. Like, I swear. Like, I'll wake up and be like, oh, we have a tournament today. Okay. But then
I
we'll
like
just
it.
we'll get on and practice. Not to say we don't practice, but and not to say we're not organized ever, but like, we have so many tournaments that we're signed up for. It's hard for me to keep track of them in my schedule.
That makes sense.
Honestly, like that's amazing though. Like even hearing you say like, hey, we're just taking it day by day. I mean, I
Pretty much.
I know like me, I follow a lot of sports. Like you hear the best teams, like the teams that win numerous championships, they all talk about that. Like you got to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. You're not looking ahead trying to go, plan ahead for that game in 3 weeks or anything. You are going, what's the next game? What's coming up? What's happening today?
For
What's
sure,
happening tomorrow? Yeah. Like that's amazing.
We do some general practice. So like we have a new nurse player, so we've been practicing like against S tier killers, which is good for any tournament.
For sure. And you got anything you want to say to your fans out there and to all the fans of Vigos?
Not much. Just we really appreciate the support. Like we've been having insane viewership on Vigos, and I don't know. We've just been having our own community is just so amazing. Like Demise and Vigos just really good people, and I don't know. I appreciate the support. I don't know. Just so many people want to watch us play, and it feels really good.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, you guys provide the exciting matchups for sure. So we enjoy watching you, enjoy casting. I know I'm speaking for myself there, but I know Q most likely agrees here with me. I see the head nods.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, you guys have, it's been really fun to watch, especially as you guys have kind of, you know, we were talking about really hit your stride here. I'm excited to see kind of how long you guys are able to ride this wave.
Yeah, we'll see. Our team's kind of, as I said, like our main roster is pretty much the same, but we have a new nurse, we have like some new subs, so we'll see. Going in the future, we're shaking things up a little bit, but it should be fun.
So if you guys weren't circling corrupts on the schedule, there's got to be at least one team that you're like, you know what though, when we face them, like we got to make sure we have at least our S tier killers available for them.
It's hard to say. Like a lot of these teams are like I don't think we put any team above the other. Like I think we're just kind of saving our S tiers like for the end.
That makes sense. That's fair.
Like
all right, so
I could be wrong. It's more up to Ultra though. Ultra probably has a better idea of what killers he wants to play against which team.
I think the call out there is for sure whoever is on your schedule last, go ahead and start practicing against the S tiers now because
practice against Nurse Spirit.
Yeah, it sounds like that's going to be the last 2 weeks. We won't have to guess. You know who's coming.
Right.
Oh my gosh. But guys, that's going to be all from us. We will see Demise convicted of murder today. So thank you for coming out, GPU, and answering some questions for us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for casting. You guys always are amazing. Really fun to watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Q.
Our cadence there together was actually awkwardly like very much in unison there. That was really cute. But chat, before we go, don't forget that we have got a game tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's only one game, and then we have got games pretty well booked through Friday and Saturday. So make sure if y'all are looking for some competitive DVD, we got you covered.
Nice. Yep, indeed. We've got a lot of games coming up. We got a game tomorrow. We got a game on Friday. We got games on Saturday. So definitely check out the Discord, check out the schedule, and keep it here, guys. But hey, for tonight, court is adjourned.
Peace.